there's so much to say about Fort Monroe, but there was a resolution that was passed in 2012, and to keep the Wary Quarter of Fort Monroe, so that it complements the National Park Service plans. In other words, it's limited to things like tourism, hospitality, recreation, and open space. So that's what the park would like, so to speak. Protecting the green spaces and the view shed. Okay, so will you strictly adhere to the 2012 Hampton resolution?
The short answer. Actually, back in 2012, when I ran for mayor, I was part of supporting the group Citizens for Fort Monroe National Park that talked about trying to make sure that we closed that donut hole, which actually had the federal monument over here and the state-owned property over here, and allowing that to come together and to be one continuous national park, national monument. So I'm still in favor of that being an area that you have perhaps only hospitality uses, and that you don't build residential areas inside there where you block the view and you detract from what is Fort Monroe as we like to think of it.
The fallacy in that particular process is that there are three different interpretations of what Wary Quarter is or was. Initially, it was the strip along the closest to the shoreline and the parkway and walkway there that was the quarter for enlisted men's housing. And consequently, that got expanded over to where the landing strip is, and then subsequently over to where the currently exists the connections to the fort adjacent to the moat. There are different interpretations of what the boundaries were at the time that the initial presentations were, because they were not defined clearly and definitively anywhere. I think the continuity and consistency of the national monument can be maintained if we are maintaining and continue the connectivity from Dog Bottom Beach, which is the part that's closest to part of the fort that's closest to Buck Road, along the shoreline, all the way up to the moat. And that follows the issue or the area that was initially the enlisted men's homes. That gives you this connectivity and the continuity and consistency of the fort. The question is then, what happens to the rest of the so-called donut hole that Donnie talks about? That was always stated and identified as being in some capacity available for some type of those properties that will be used for supporting tourism, whether it be hotels, motels, some type of restaurants on a limited basis, but something that will complement and enhance the experience that you will realize upon visiting the fort and the national monument. So we're trying to reconcile that particular situation so that we all come together with some collective identification and agreement on what the connectivity is and what Wary Quarter boundaries are.
Thank you very much.